We started this podcast to avenge our murdered family. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Drunken Thespian Throw Smiley, and I am joined by...
I'm Josh Cece, and I drive a sewer bike.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm here to fight crime and eat pizza. Ooh, pizza.
I'm Alaric Weber. Batman sent me.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence, the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and then we tell you all about it. I just wanted to take a minute here to ask you all to head on over to iTunes, rate and review us. It's the best way to let others know you like the show, plus it helps us find new listeners, which could lead to awesome stuff like maybe some bonus episodes here and there or something. So head on over to iTunes, guys. So that's enough self-promotion. This week, we are watching 1989's Dolph Lundgren vehicle. It is The Punisher.
If society won't punish the guilty, he will.
You see this board here? Every time he kills somebody, I put a red pin in it. So far, the only thing that I've got to show for it is these little calling cards here and a whole bunch of these.
Now let me tell you something about this Punisher. If he ever shows up within 1,000 yards of me, you'll find out what the word punished really means.
He defends the innocent. But if you're guilty, he gives no warning and shows no mercy.
What the hell is this? Trouble.
Dolph Lundgren, Louis Gossett Jr.
Mr. P, happy hunting!
The Punisher. Justice with a vengeance.
Oh, yeah. The Punisher.
With a vengeance. That's hilarious. Because that's one of my favorite Homer,
Yeah.
I second that motion. With a vengeance. In his remake of Mr. Smith.
Oh, God, yeah. The Punisher, 1989. So the Punisher is a Marvel character. He exists in the MCU. And so as such, we probably got some background on that. Al, you got anything for us?
I have a little bit. Let's find it. So the Punisher in the comics, Frank Castle is his name, born Francis Castiglione, created by writer Jerry Conway and artists John Romita Sr. and Ross Andrew. His first appearance was in The Amazing Spider-Man number 129, February 1974. The Jackal calls for a hit on Spider-Man, and Castle takes up the contract. We know that Spider-Man doesn't die.
Yeah, good. Spoiler.
Well, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Punisher kills Spider-Man, doesn't he? No, he kills Captain America. Sorry.
With a vengeance. Yeah. So Frank Castle is a former Marine Corps scout sniper in Force Recon, skilled in marksmanship, guerrilla warfare, and hand-to-hand combat. Driven by the murders of his wife and 2 children by the mob for witnessing a killing in Central Park, that's New York City, Castle wages a one-man war on crime, employing tactics of murder, kidnapping, extortion, and torture. Punisher would show up a lot with in Spider-Man stories, Daredevil.
All that like ground level New York superhero kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Ground level.
The ground level.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. Like just
They're
some up and comers.
Friendly neighborhood
Yeah,
mercenary.
They're not fighting Thanos. They're fighting,
Right,
you know, the Kingpin.
Yeah, they're-
or the Yakuza,
Hell's
I guess,
Kitchen.
in Seattle.
So Punisher's
Seattle.
Punisher's brutal nature and willingness to kill set him apart from mainstream comics characters at the time. There's not a ton of killing going on in mainstream comics. In the 70s, there was a wave of psychologically troubled anti-heroes in the 80s, and Punisher rode that wave. May have been an impetus.
Yeah. He definitely presaged it.
At the height of Punisher's popularity, there were 4 self-titled publications: The Punisher, Punisher War Journal,
Those are good.
Those are so good.
Punisher Warzone, and Punisher Armory. He's been portrayed in film by Dolph Lundgren, Thomas Jane, and Ray Stevenson, portrayed by John Bernthal in Daredevil and The Punisher on the Netflix original series.
Which I like that portrayal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good casting choice. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Each one of them looks great.
Thomas Jane is also a really great Punisher, but in an entirely different way.
Yeah, he's so fun.
Yeah, very fun, very like over the top.
Yeah, he feels like a comic book character.
Oh yeah.
Whereas this feels like
This feels like the 80s.
something different.
Someone said, "Hey, let's put the 80s on screen."
Yeah.
Some notable aliases for Frank Castle were Mr. Smith, Charles Fort, Frank Rook, Johnny Tower, and Frankencastle.
Frankencastle.
Frankencastle was Frank Castle brought back to life after he had died, I assumed. He was resurrected by Morbius, the vampire.
The living vampire.
And he was like a patchwork Frankenstein-like monster.
Who was avenging the deaths of his family.
Yeah, still.
He was avenging the deaths of other monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not unlike his kind of like nemesis guy. What's his face? Jigsaw's kind of a patchwork looking guy. That's interesting. I didn't read that. That's cool.
Originally depicted with a black bodysuit, white gloves and boots, he looked a lot like a SHIELD agent.
Yeah.
Particularly Nick Fury with 2 eyes, basically.
That's the giveaway.
Them boots, though, them go-go boots.
And this giant skull emblem on his chest. That was the other distinguishing characteristic from SHIELD agents.
Yes,
You know the one?
The skull emblem is a distinguishing characteristic.
The
of
one
this.
that law
It's
enforcement
iconic.
and military use for everything, because that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's
Let's not get into
totally
that,
cool
but,
that.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it's like in the
Cold murderer, revenge seeking. Yeah.
Who specifically is taking vengeance where the law cannot.
Yeah.
There was a decline in Punisher's popularity around the mid-90s, 1995 or so.
Which I find confusing because that's around the time where like edgy crap was getting really popular.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like the Punisher fits right in with new metal.
Yeah. It's 6 years after this movie, so we can't blame this movie necessarily.
I mean,
No, I
we can
doubt-
try.
Yeah, I doubt many people saw this.
So his character and his look was modified several times. In the 2000s, he got a black trench coat, black combat boots, combat trousers instead of the spandex bodysuit.
And those white boots, dog. Oh, they're so ridiculous.
And the white gloves went away. I remember
A little bit Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. It's
Well,
very.
and it's gotta be hard, like loading and unloading guns, and not unloading, but I don't know. It's hard to do things with gloves on,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
especially tactical things.
And moon boots.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, when
boots is boots.
you're wearing like white butler gloves.
Right? It's like, oh shit, I got gun oil on these. I need to get my other gloves out.
Like, I get so much brain matter on these.
I keep dropping them.
I remember one of my first memories of discovering Punisher was actually from a What If comic.
Those were so fun.
In the back was Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
his character was the pun fisher.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Sidebar. I'm stoked about What If
I know.
for
It's going to
Disney
be
Plus.
it's a series, right?
A series, yeah.
yeah.
Animated.
That's cool. One notable comic that I wrote down, I might be interested in reading, but I have not yet. In 1995, Punisher kills the Marvel Universe.
Oh, it's great.
It's a one-if, one-off. I read
That's the first one, I think, of all
Yeah.
all
those,
kills
yeah,
the Marvel universe.
Wolverine had one.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Deadpool. I read Squirrel Girl had
has
a
one. Right?
Squirrel Girl killed the Marvel
Yeah.
Universe?
beats up the
Yeah.
Marvel Universe.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of them now. I think we're probably missing a couple of people too.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great runs. They're fun.
And yeah, I
Comics
think
are great, guys.
Yeah.
They are.
They're so good, you maybe should do a podcast about it.
Right?
Yeah.
I love them.
So yeah, that's The Punisher. This movie was released on October 5th, 1989. In Europe, it took a couple years to get to the U.S. It did get released in the U.S.
Australia is a ways away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it had to swim.
We went by, almost said hoverboard.
Say, what was it?
One
Windsurfer?
Oh,
Windsurfer.
Yeah, that's it. Windsurfing board.
A runtime of 89 minutes. It cost $9 million to make, and it did $533,000 in the box office.
just the U.S. or is that including Australia?
That's
Yeah, it was that amount
that
and
what-
a flock of sheep.
Is that why it's free on YouTube?
Yeah.
So they're
That-
just trying to recoup it on like per click.
that honestly might be worldwide. Wow. I don't know.
Okay.
28% on Rotten Tomatoes. So not
That's
as
generous.
it's
I'd say.
rated. Oh yeah, that is generous. It rated higher than Supergirl.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck. It rated higher than Superman 4. Either of the Toxies. No. Toxie 2. Toxie 1 was rated higher. So yeah.
It's not even objectively that cool.
No, it's not even like so badly fun.
Right.
That you'd like rewatch it just.
There were a couple of really cool shots in this movie that I think were direct from comic book panels that worked really well. The first scene that we see with the Punisher's boot through the door
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and like the dust.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool for a moment.
Yeah. No, there were like the film in general looked pretty awesome. Like the shots looked nice. Like it looked like they had a
like the way they were composed.
The way that people came on and off screen was great.
All right.
When they were on screen for more than a moment, things started to fall apart.
it was like they had a director. It was like they had a cinematographer but no director.
Yeah.
It's
Like that shot of Castle meditating, as weird as it is.
yeah.
Kind of cool
It's
looking.
a well
It's
lit,
kinda
nice
cool,
composed
you know?
shot. Yeah.
Like it looks like a comic book thing, but that'd be weird to see in a comic book still. But
Yeah.
it was cool looking. If you're into naked dudes.
And it's not a canon films, but that's exactly what it seemed like.
It's
You know,
very
one of
much
those
that
canon
feel,
action
yeah.
films that would be on like Cinemax. Yeah, it's just like generic action movie.
Yeah, very, very generic action movie. It was directed by Mark Goldblatt. His only other film that he directed was Dead Heat, starring Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo, which is a film about an LAPD police officer who is murdered while attempting to arrest some zombies.
Wow.
Yes.
Dead Heat?
Dead Heat. And then he
I've
comes
heard of
back
it.
to life
I had no idea that.
and has to help track down his own killer.
Of course. Yeah.
Is he a zombie?
Which
unclear.
one? Was it
Unclear.
Treat?
That would be my
Treat or
assumption just
Piscopo?
from the description.
I
of
think
the-
Treat's probably the murdered, and Joe Piscopo is like the lie, like maybe his partner that like, oh my God, you're still alive. Let's get them zombies.
Dear Lord.
He was better known, Mark Goldblatt, not Joe Piscopo, was better known as an editor. He has quite the list of credits as an editor. Eat My Dust, Grand Theft Auto with Ron Howard, Piranha, Spirit of the Wind, Enter the Ninja, The Howling, Halloween 2, Terminator, Commando, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Jumpin' Jack Flash, directed by Penny Marshall, starring Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
I
All
had
those movies are pretty good.
yeah, RoboCop,
Yeah.
Nightbreed, Predator 2, Terminator 2, The Last Boy Scout, Universal Soldier, Super Mario Brothers. Ooh, glad we don't have to do that one. True Lies, Showgirls, The Rock, Starship Troopers, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, Bad Boys 2, Triple X, State of the Union, X-Men Last Stand. Yeah, it goes on and on. But
I bet it's tricky to edit a action or horror movie.
yeah,
You
no, I
know?
bet it is. That's
Just just off by a couple beats, and you could ruin the whole vibe of that scene.
yeah, no, it's got I'm sure there's like it's a very specific kind of skill, I bet, very different than like editing a drama.
I would think, yeah.
It was written by Boaz Yakin. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, Boaz.
Yeah, that's quite a name. I noticed that.
Yeah. He wrote screenplays for films like The Rookie, A Price Above Rubies, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, and Now You See Me.
Jeez.
Yeah. He directed the 2000 sports drama Remember the Titans and the 2012 Jason Statham action film Safe. He's produced films with Eli Roth and served as executive producer for the first two entries in the Hostel franchise. The music was by Dennis Draith, who composed for such films as Purple People Eater and Gag. He's better known in the industry as an orchestrator and conductor of film music. So he can be heard on Jurassic Park, Misery, Braveheart, Addams Family, Sleepless in Seattle, A League of Their Own. So, John Williams would like compose Jurassic Park, and then he'd conduct the orchestra and arrange the orchestra.
Interesting.
Yeah. Which is something that I didn't know really happened much. I guess I always kind of thought that, that was done. Yeah.
By the composer of the score, yeah.
Our star is Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
So Dolph Lundgren is an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He received a degree in chemical engineering from the Royal Institute of Technology in the early 1980s and a master's in chemical engineering from the University of Sydney in 1982. He holds the rank of third Dan Black Belt in Kyokushin Karate, and he was a European champion in 1980-81. While in Sydney, he became bodyguard for Jamaican singer Grace Jones and began a relationship with her. He received a Fulbright scholarship to MIT and moved to Boston. Jones convinced him to leave the university and move to New York to be with her and begin acting, where, after a short stint as a model and a bouncer at the Manhattan nightclub The Limelight, Lundgren got his small debut role as a KGB henchman in the James Bond film A View to Kill. He appeared in Rocky IV.
That was his second movie.
Rocky IV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his first one?
A View to Kill.
View to a Kill.
Oh, right.
Which he crushed.
Yeah.
In A View to Kill.
Well, no, not A View to Kill.
Rocky IV.
I might go back and check him out in A View to Kill, but I watched the fight scene from Rocky IV after watching
Grace
Punisher.
Jones.
Oh, yeah. That made him super famous, like Rocky IV.
He's phenomenal.
Wasn't she in that Bond movie too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't she do the theme song? Wasn't she the Bond theme song?
Well, maybe.
One? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, wait. View to a Kill. Well, Duran Duran did one of the Timothy Dalton.
Oh, that might be the one.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
So in A View to a Kill, he was a minor character. He had a name Vens, but he was a KGB henchman.
Yeah.
Yeah, after Rocky IV made him famous, he portrayed He-Man in the 1987 film Masters of the Universe.
His third movie.
Yes. Lieutenant Radchenko in Red Scorpion. And then throughout the 90s, he was in a bunch of movies that were indeed made. I Come in Peace, Cover Up, Showdown in Little Tokyo. The Universal Soldier series
Oh, yeah.
he was in.
Yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu.
I got some numbers on the decades
Sure.
because it was kind of interesting. Punisher was his seventh movie. So in the 80s, he did 7 movies.
Okay.
In the 90s, he did 17 movies. In the aughts, 16. And in the teens, 37.
Whoa.
This decade, he's done 37 movies.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Some ones I liked. This was TV too. He appeared in Chuck, which was a fun show. Workaholics in 2015 as himself.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Sanjay and Craig. It was a cartoon.
It was a cartoon.
Also as himself. Arrow between 2016 2017. He was 6 episodes. A Russian, Konstantin Kovar. Creed 2. He reprised his role as Ivan Drago. And Aquaman. He was
we'll see him again in
Aquaman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We'll see him in that. I think this was his most recent credit. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Nice.
October 2019. That was last month. He was John Thundergun.
Nice.
Oh.
Sweet name.
Thundergun Express.
Did he?
That's the movie they made. Yeah.
He was also in all 3 of the Expendables,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
or maybe all 3. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of those, so I didn't write them down.
I'm pretty sure that he and Stallone are
They're
close
dead to
friends.
Yeah, I
That
would
makes
think
sense.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That would
They
totally
work
working
together,
together
a
in
lot.
Rocky, yeah.
A lot of things. Yeah.
And this was a fun fact. In 1996, he was the team leader of the U.S. Olympic pentathlon team.
Nice.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he is he's done a lot.
He's like a Renaissance man.
Yeah, no, I mean, he may not be like winning Oscars for his acting, but in all other aspects of his life, he is just killing it.
I just wish he was still practicing chemical engineering.
Yeah. That would be great.
That is the real pity here.
It's hard to juggle that with karate and making movies.
Pentathlon, action
And,
star.
being an Olympian.
Wow.
And he's not a bad actor.
No, he's not.
It's just he's in a lot of these really lame action movies.
He just
know?
doesn't know how to say no to a role that he,
Yeah. Well, I
Well,
mean,
he's in a box for sure.
he's
you
got
know.
a thing that people want him to do.
Yeah.
And that's it.
In Arrow, he was great. Actually, those 6 episodes of Arrow, I enjoyed the show, and he was cool. He knocked it out.
I was pretty pleasantly surprised by his accent in Punisher.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad. He did sound like Stallone sometimes.
It's
Yeah,
something.
actually.
Yeah, and it's really that's what it is, I think. Yeah.
I would tell you. Yeah.
I am Ollie, you are Sven.
Don't go upriver.
Yeah, the Russian accent that he does is great, but this accent it's a little weird.
Oh, no, it's definitely.
He only speaks like 10
He
times.
has very
total
few
in the
lines.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, which, I mean,
It's a lonely life down this sewer.
He's just talking to himself.
cauterizing
one-liners.
wounds and meditating naked.
Finding ways to get your motorcycle down there.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into the sewer. Louis Gossett Jr. also starred in this. He got his start on Broadway, The Bright Lights, Big City. His Emmy Award-winning role of Fiddler in the 1977 television miniseries Roots first brought Gossett to national attention. In 1983, he was cast in the title role in Sadat, a miniseries which
About Anwar Sadat.
about Anwar Sadat. Yes, exactly. Then he was in An Officer and a Gentleman. And
That was a breakout.
Were you going to mention the award?
go ahead.
Okay. For An Officer and a Gentleman, he was the first African American to win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
Boom.
Yes, and only the second black male to win an Oscar for acting.
For period, yeah.
And the third black actor overall. The first, of course, was Butterfly McQueen.
Sidney Poitier?
No, Butterfly McQueen for Gone with the Wind was the first black.
Oh, Hattie McDaniels?
Hattie McDaniels. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I believe Sidney Poitier was 2, and then Lou Gossett was 3.
Yeah, he got, I don't know, Lilies in the Field or something. But anyways.
Lou Gossett was, wow. And he was in The Punisher.
Yeah. Yeah. Academy Award when he had already won when he was in The Punisher.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That doesn't mean shit.
He's the best part of this whole movie, though.
Oh,
They
easily.
give it to children.
Yeah. It's true. It is just an award.
That's not cool.
But that gets you gigs, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, it gets you good.
It's supposed
jobs,
to mean something.
you know?
It doesn't, but it's supposed to. I mean, no, it means something as far as what you can make your career do if you capitalize on it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think children
I mean,
Those kids are getting good gigs, too.
win
though.
Oscars. I don't know. You know how long it took Scorsese and Spielberg to get their Oscars?
That's true.
But we threw one at Anna Paquin. Turns out she's a shit actor.
Was it
Very true.
Was
what,
it-
What did she get one for?
the piano?
Oh,
You know, Tatum O'Neal got one. She was great. That was great. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, Anna Paquin was definitely
Imagine acting
oversold.
all your life and, you know,
Yeah.
studying at the Actors Studio in Strasbourg.
Who was that?
Fucking kid.
Who was that rap group that got it? It wasn't Wu-Tang. It was
3-6 Mafia.
3-6 Mafia.
It's hard out here for a champ.
3-6 Mafia won an Oscar before Scorsese.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, you know, just chew on that. It's not that I'm against children.
Them children got it pretty sweet.
And this has been Josh's Oscar Corner.
It's just
Around Oscar time, we should totally just do an Oscar episode.
that would be fun. Or watch it.
Yeah.
together.
Oh, yeah. We could live pod.
watch us on Twitch.
Live pod the Oscars. That'd be weird. It'd be like 4 hours long.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
It would have to be cut down.
But we all have to do it in our best Punisher.
No, we should just do an episode.
Oh no!
We should
What
do it
we should
live.
do is we should watch the one where like all the science and engineering awards that are given at the separate ceremony, usually in a smaller auditorium.
It'd be like,
We watched that.
like-
I don't think it's televised.
like, ooh, Jeffrey Smith really killed it for catering.
The logistics team this year.
Right.
Yeah, that was the best blood pack explosion.
Exactly.
And this year for best duck wrangler.
Yeah, exactly. Fish trainer.
I'm sorry, duck coach.
Oh, right. That's what it was, coach. Come on, you can do it.
Coach. All right. All right. So production took place.
Just cuz.
Yeah. We said the word duck.
We're going to need to lighten this up. Yeah. The Punisher.
Yeah. So Gossett, other than this, and Officer and a Gentleman is best known as playing Colonel Chappie Sinclair in the Iron Eagle series.
Enemy Mine. That was a
That was a great
cool
movie. That was a great
He was in
movie.
a pilot for Black Bart, a
Oh, yeah.
show about
Oh,
Black
about
Bart,
Black
the
Bart.
sheriff.
Yeah, that's
from
right. Oh, that was him.
Blazing Saddles.
Interesting.
Cool.
I saw that on IMDb and I just thought,
cannot imagine how that could have been a TV series.
Before we
I
get
think it failed.
too far away from Enemy Mine, I totally plagiarized that movie for a 7th grade creative writing project.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's badass. And he's still working. He has a gig right now on Watchmen.
Oh, good for him.
That's right.
Lou Gossett Jr. is the guy in the
yeah,
wheelchair.
that's right. Yeah. Wow. That's right. I forgot I made that connection earlier in the week and I completely forgot it again.
Some other small notables. He was in Captain Planet and the Planeteers as Commander Clash for 3 episodes.
Okay.
The Batman as Lucius Fox in 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
And Watchmen,
All right.
which I need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the series.
Sad
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, me too.
It's great.
I haven't watched. Yeah, I hear
Watch it.
All right. Hey, I got a wife, man. I gotta wait.
It's true.
Wait for her to be ready. Production of
Got
The
a cell
Punisher.
phone? You can.
And then just
I'm running to the store.
No, I can't.
We're out of
I'm
toilet
just-
no,
paper.
no. I can't.
Go to
I
the
Leave
can't.
the
to get
Walmart
cigarettes.
parking lot and watch it on your phone.
I'm just gonna go buy cigarettes.
I can't.
Watch the Watchmen.
I'm going to the pornography
No,
store.
I-
I'm buying pornography.
Homer, I don't know what you have planned for tonight, but count me out.
Yeah. Bottle of Old Harper. Firework.
What was it? An enema?
An at-home enema.
No, I can watch whatever I want. It's just that later on they'll be like, "Oh, you watched it already?"
Yeah.
Yes, honey. Production took place in Sydney. The film was given a worldwide theatrical release, except in the United States, Sweden, and South Africa.
Can we say worldwide?
It was originally slated for U.S. release in August 1989, as trailers were created by New World promoting the film. It premiered in Germany and France in October '89 and was shown months later at the Los Angeles Comic Book and Sci-Fi Convention in 1990. It was given a limited theatrical release in the United States beginning April 25th, 1991. Due to New World's financial difficulties and its new owners not having an interest in theatrical distribution.
That's not
just not
really our
interested.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really distribute films.
We help them be made, but
After that, it's
you're on your own.
anybody's guess what happens to them.
If you can get people to come, good for you.
It was sold to Live Entertainment, which became Lionsgate, who released it direct to video and VHS and Laserdisc in June of 1991. So it had like a month-long release in the U.S. and
Just long enough to grab a few $1,000s.
yeah. Initially, Nicole Kidman was cast as
The Punisher.
She really was going to bulk up and everything.
Yeah.
yeah. But she insisted on wearing the shirts. She said, "You're out of here. We're getting Lundgren."
Oh, but right, she's Australian.
Yeah. I'm unclear on whether she was going to play what's her
What
face?
is her name?
Sam
Leary.
or if she was going to be the white Yakuza lady.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She would have been about that age.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one she was going to play.
Yeah. The white Yakuza lady.
Yeah. So that's about it. There's not a whole lot to this film. You guys want to get into it?
Oh, well, okay. Did anybody look up how they got the license for this? You know, who bought Punisher rights and how did... Because it really feels like they wanted to use the name and that's about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, as far as so this was around the time.
You said New Worlds, the studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was around the time when, so in the late 80s, Stan Lee left New York and went to LA,
Yeah.
specifically to become Marvel's peddler to the film industry.
Right. Yeah.
He was really bad at this job.
Okay.
He got very few.
Well, yeah. We didn't see any movies.
Yeah, well, we saw this one.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah.
this was one of the few films that he managed to get made. Yeah. He does have a credit on here, a consultant credit.
Okay.
Well,
then, yeah, that explains. I mean, if he came from, Marvel, then he brought the rights with him.
there was a lot.
It wasn't like the Salkinds and Superman.
When we get to Spider-Man, I'll be talking a lot about Stan Lee in the movies. There's a huge, long history on that.
He has a consulting credit on this.
Yes. Yeah. But this and the Fantastic Four movie by Corman.
Roger Corman.
So this is the first time that he's really trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And made it the same time as Batman. That's just odd in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
As a Punisher and the Batman movie.
It's kind of the
same
closest thing to Batman south of
But such a
the
relatively
Egyptian-
new
what's that guy?
character.
Moon Knight.
Oh,
right.
Moon
Yeah,
Knight.
that's the only other Batman-like character, but he's obscure.
Which,
Especially
But yeah, he's in that
Nope.
same vein.
We've got
the same
a-
kind of vigilante.
we've got a Moon Knight series coming, though.
Oh yeah, well I mean,
Oh, wow,
2019, but
Yeah.
89.
Oh, 89, super obscure.
An Egyptian lead,
Yeah. Oh, never gonna happen. Yeah, but yeah, that's about it. It's just Stan Lee was out there trying to sell them, and I feel like maybe they had a script, and Stan Lee was like, "Make it the Punisher."
Right.
Yeah. I feel like them not using the symbol was kind of them being like, well, we just want to make a movie about violence.
Right.
Well, yeah, no, and he
This-
specifically
This guy's revenge plot.
Yeah, the director specifically said that was a conscious choice because they didn't want it to be too cartoony.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah, I don't
it would
think
have worked
it's a
so
goofy
well.
emblem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not
The
like
emblem itself is the thing that strikes fear into people almost.
Yeah.
Right.
He is a symbol.
Yeah.
Like not like Batman, where Batman is like the bats are a symbol. Like the Punisher is known as the spooky ass skull guy who murders people.
Right.
yeah,
They could have had some really cool shots down the sewer of of you just seeing the skull first.
You don't even have to have him make it
in the darkness,
like
right,
how
yeah.
we see that in all these
like
Punisher
that
movies,
one
him, like,
scene where
spray
he's in the
painting it,
burning
yeah.
house and all of the news crew is there,
and then he disappears,
and he's just in outline. If all you could see was the outline and the skull,
That
Yeah,
would've
and
been
as he
cool.
disappears, all you would see is the skull still. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there were a lot of missed opportunities, and I think that was a huge mistake. Not that would have saved the movie,
But it would have helped.
it would have
I think
helped.
so.
It would have gone a long
It-
way to make the
It
more
would have been
cohesive.
easier to ignore the other things
thematically.
like
Yeah,
Seattle and no Vietnam. And
Seattle. Yeah, let's
It
just
could have raised the rating like 20%.
I think so.
yeah. So let's just right at the beginning say that this movie is set in Seattle.
Yeah.
Not New York.
This takes
Not
place
New
in
York.
Seattle.
New Jersey.
And
Seattle.
like we were saying, it was shot in Sydney. So Sydney was going to double for a city no matter what. And they went ahead and chose Seattle, even though at no point in the movie is that critical or.
Well, no, and it's written as if it's taking place in an East Coast place. Like everyone, like all the character names, like all the mafia guys are like Italian names.
Yes.
and
Italian mobsters are not a
Seattle,
No.
issue,
It was never known
They're
for
taking
its
it on the
high
road.
crime rate.
right? Yeah, like
Yeah, and they did, but like to
Vegas,
Vegas,
maybe?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Vegas and Palm Springs, and yeah,
not
they didn't
Seattle.
send Bugsy Siegel to the Pacific Northwest.
Like they got great coffee.
break ground, buddy.
It's like,
Log
send them up to
cabins,
Canada.
log cabins.
the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It was never known as a crime-ridden city.
It wasn't really.
Yeah.
No.
Right. So
Just a lot of bums.
it's like eventually, Frank,
Riots.
you're gonna run out of people
Well, yeah.
to take down.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, and this was '89, so like you had like Pearl Jam and like
Right, Mud
Kurt
Honey.
Cobain, like hey, yeah,
A lot of bums, man.
the Punisher.
It's like, hey, I was at this concert. I locked my keys in the car. Help me, Punisher.
I would get them for you. I can't get into my car.
Just shoots the
through
car with
through
a
the
gun.
window. Wait, I will break it. All right. So, you guys ready to jump in the film?
Yeah.
the film. It's
But
a
we were
film.
doing so much better than the movie.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It's all downhill from here, folks.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Let's get through this. 1989's The Punisher. After a nifty little credit
Yeah,
sequence.
so aren't those cool titles?
I liked those.
I
So-
put a question mark.
There was a video game that had those same credits, and I remember thinking, like, God, these are so weird. But
Well,
they're
and
kind of cool.
They were the multicolored circles, like the Love Boat. I don't know if
like,
anybody
coming-
remembers them.
and they would shatter as he shot them, you know,
Bullseye, yeah.
but
Yeah.
from shots from the movie, not like we're gonna do some like secondary shots if you shoot.
no.
it.
Oh, right,
they were
they
shots
were like
from the
shots
movie.
from the movie.
Right,
No, they shot no extra footage.
Yeah, exactly. It was very lean.
Right.
5-day shooting schedule.
No,
in a
but
sewer in
how
Sydney.
stylized the titles were.
Yeah, they were very cool.
The video game looked really cool. This did not look nearly as cool as the video game.
Yikes.
Just because the the nature of 16-bit can make weird flat things look interesting when you make them 3D. This just did not hold up to that, which was a copy of this, which is a weird thing to realize while watching. I was like, oh, this kind of sucks.
We after the credit sequence, we jump into a newscast about a mob boss who has been acquitted of charges in the murder.
Dino Moretti.
Dino Moretti.
Dino.
I didn't catch his name, and then I just didn't feel like going back and looking.
Did you guys recognize him? It's the one-armed man.
No, that's not Moretti.
That's not Moretti?
That's Franco.
That's Franco.
Franco?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought so.
Yeah.
Moretti's not long for this
Yeah.
world.
That's right. I forgot.
He's been acquitted of charges in the murder of Frank Castle's family. He exits the courthouse, laughs off a reporter's question, and seems unworried about a vigilante named the Punisher.
Who's been operating for 5 years?
125 mafia deaths.
Yes.
That's got to be most of Seattle's mafia.
No, Seattle's a seedy place, man.
Well, and in this particular, adventure in his life that we're watching, it doesn't seem that hard to track down the Punisher or to even capture the Punisher. But he evaded capture in Seattle for 5 years.
Yeah,
In the
years.
sewers, too?
Yeah, it's
No one
just
ever
odd.
thought, well, we'll get to
I guess just this week was his worst week.
Yeah. Yeah,
in his life.
We'll get to the sewers because those are some sewers. Those are like Buffy the Vampire Slayer level sewers.
Right, the catacombs under the Vatican.
The vast network of man-sized sewers that's across in cities all across the Pacific seaboard.
Right.
Doesn't work like that.
No, and it's a harbor city, so there's a lot of water in and out of Seattle. I don't know.
No. These
I don't know if you
sewers
can
are
stand
dry.
in the
These
sewer.
sewers are dry and clean and man-sized.
Yeah, no, they're scrubbed weekly.
Yes. And then
He's all, I'm gonna punish these things.
They were built by the Chuds.
They're cleaned. They're cleaned by the Punisher, though.
Yeah,
that's what he does when he's not killing. Well,
Yeah,
because
I'm
5
sure he's
years,
meticulous.
125 killings. That's
Got a lot of blood to clean up. I
that's a-
guess
that's
he
a-
just kills everybody in the sewers, and he's like, "Oh shit, nah, man,
He's
I
got
made
a lot of
mess."
time in between. Hey, how does he live?
What does he eat?
What does he eat? He obviously sleeps in the sewer, so he doesn't have any rent. He doesn't have any expenses, but
How did he buy the remote control truck with the bottle of booze on it?
yeah, exactly. How does he get that motor? Like where does he get these wonderful toys?
Well, yeah, I guess his family's dead and he's dead. The money that they would
Is
have
it
got
insurance?
from him being killed didn't go to anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
But even if we can explain the how he gets the money, just does he go out to the
Yeah.
grocery store?
Does he like hit the McDonald's? You know,
Yeah,
like-
exactly. Does he go to Starbucks?
Yeah.
He's in Seattle.
Right. And the Punisher doesn't have, say, an emblem on his shirt. So if you were to see the Punisher, you'd have to remember his face.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's just going up.
Every time he kills one of the mafia guys, he just takes the big wad of money that they're always waving around.
Oh,
He waits for
yes,
that.
That's true.
He waits for them to drop loot.
Yeah.
Yep.
They always have a big wad.
I played Grand Theft Auto. That's how it works.
And ammo.
And ammo. Yeah, loot and ammo.
And ammo.
Yeah. The Dapper Don, as he's called,
Interchangeable.
gets into his car and a mysterious figure on a motorcycle follows. The Don and his entourage arrive home, and he has his men check the house. Well, he gets champagne.
And he's so excited to
He's
get
like,
the
"Let's do
champagne.
it."
Best boss ever.
He's going to get all his goons some champagne.
Yeah, and like
Mikey, you start the music.
you start the music.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to party,
And
guys.
I'll get the champagne. I'm the boss.
He's
But it's
the
because
boss.
he's so excited. And he's just fresh out of prison.
No, he's
So that's why they're
he's so happy to see his goons.
right. And they're going to toast the champagne to his release from prison. But it's so funny. Do you remember at any point in your lives hanging out with your bros?
My goons?
Just like, hey, man, go in the kitchen and get a single glass of champagne for everybody out here.
I'll pour them all, carry them out on a silver
Should we get other booze at all? Some mixers? No.
He would have been infinitely cooler carrying 4 glasses and a bottle.
Yeah.
No, but he had a tray
Yeah.
full of glasses of champagne.
It's a big house, and it
like-
took him a while. So it's just like, how long can a bunch of guys sip a glass of champagne?
Yeah, and what was going to happen? Like they're listening to the music, they sip the champagne, they finish that glass, and it's like, so now what do we do, fellas?
Yeah, there are so many more interesting ways to write that scene. You guys check the house and come meet me in the kitchen. I'll pour a glass of champagne for everybody.
Well, and he was giddy. He almost had a little wiggle when he came back.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He comes
was
out
like
and he's
a
like,
Charles Nelson
he
Riley.
just stops and he's like, oh no, my party's ruined.
He obviously took the time to make an acquittal mixtape.
Yes, that's right.
He's like,
And the first song was Winning Isn't Everything, It's the Only Thing
oh yeah.
Words to live by.
by Bobby Laurel.
Second song was Simply the Best. So Punisher kills everybody. And then kills the Don.
In some creative ways, I guess, you know.
Yeah, strings the guy up from above, which was interesting.
Right.
The boot knife.
The
Boot knife to the chest.
Right.
We will see many more boot blades
That
in
all-
this movie.
Oh, yeah.
That all really had a Batman vibe to it.
Very
I mean,
much so.
obviously a little more violent than Batman would, but yeah, just sort of
Yeah, definitely
appearing out of nowhere.
lingering on the violence a little bit longer than Batman, because Batman,
Yeah.
you get the like, you see the hand and then you hear the sound and it's
Right.
already turned away to something else. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But just the whole stealthiness. Whereas the Punisher is kind of known as the guy who kicks the door open.
Yeah, and just kills
blasts
everybody.
the room. Yeah.
And like, it doesn't give a shit if he gets shot.
Right.
He's just like, no, I'm just going to open
Right.
the door.
Because
Well, yeah.
the skull is actually Kevlar.
Yeah.
You know, on the actual Punisher.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
His actual superpower is not getting shot in the face.
Right.
Ever.
Ever.
It's plot armor.
No-
Superpower
no
is
headshots.
plot armor. So outside, reporters gathered at the gate hear a commotion and rush forward just as the house explodes.
Lou Gossett Jr. asks if they have anything better to do with their time. It's like,
we're
no, this
reporters."
is my job.
I'm a reporter.
This is what I do with my time.
Yeah. In the doorway, his face obscured by the smoke, they spot the Punisher, but he disappears before they can get a clear shot of him. All of like the ADR of like the reporters, like, stay on the shot, stay on the shot. Oh, get a look at that. What do you see over there?
Don't leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah,
There was so much.
At different scenes, there is that. Yeah.
So Moretti's got the skull handled blade
In his back,
in his
yes.
back. He's been killed by
The
skull.
Punisher is calling him.
skull
He has so many skull knives.
Yeah.
He's got to have gotten a deal with somebody for like a crate of them.
Because he doesn't have like a grinder, like a grinding wheel, and like a forge in the sewer that we saw at least.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, so he like meant to order one and accidentally ordered like a bunch.
A whole bunch.
I was like,
Oh shit! I thought it was one. It was a box of 100.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to worry about losing this one.
Yeah, they're like batarangs, you know. Batman didn't collect those.
So,
But he's a lot richer than Frank.
That's true.
Later,
A homeless
Yeah,
guy.
his cave is intentional.
He bought his cave.
Right. Sewer.
later, Jake Berkowitz, his partner, has
Jacob Berkowitz? DDS?
I went to his bat mitzvah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great name for Lou.
Did you meet Spielberg there?
Yes.
he has quite the collection of skull knives and bullet casings just in his office. Hey, you're looking for this guy? Why don't you check with all the knife makers in town?
Right. But he's
Yeah.
manhandling that evidence.
That looks like a custom job.
Yeah.
He's
well,
like, what do you mean? These? Picks up the knives with his hand. And then these and runs his hands through. It's like, you got to send those to the lab.
he's like, oh no, like pours them down his pants.
They've already got my DNA on
Starts
file.
licking handfuls of it.
This won't affect anything in the case.
Yeah. It's like, I know they weren't like on the top of their forensics game at that time, but they just leave them in a box on Lou's desk. Like it's a stress.
Louis Gossett
sorry,
Jr.'s name
Berkowitz.
is Berkowitz.
Jacob
Berkowitz.
a fine Jewish name.
Yeah, exactly.
In the sewers,
beautiful.
Frank Castle meditates naked and has some PTSD about the death of his family.
Yeah.
Why are the innocent dead and the guilty alive?
Yeah. That's
Where is justice? Where is punishment?
It's a real 12-year-old sort of view of the world. Like, why do bad things happen to good people?
Why,
Mr. Rat, or whatever his friend is in the sewer.
why did the
He has to have a companion, right?
why did my puppy dog run away?
It's not fair.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yours is, that's, yeah. That's
we
a
were
good voice.
discussing this shot earlier where it's cool. It looks great. But why is he greasy and why is he covered in soot? Like dust and dirt. Was he like rolling around in the mud or without his clothes on?
House fire.
Does he like go out without his clothes on though? Like I guess
Yeah.
is that because of the house fire?
Well, because they reused that shot again at the end.
Yeah,
They use it again.
doesn't
Yeah.
like
Like,
it.
This is nightly routine.
Yeah, he just always gets greased up and dirty. He's just like I get greased up and dirty and talk to myself.
As I stare into the fire.
I don't remember that particular shot in any of the comics, but I think he did meditate. You know, I think
I assume he meditates on the revenge he will inevitably get.
right. It's definitely very focused.
Naked contemplation of the death of his family.
Yeah,
Yes, when he's not encumbered by sweaters.
it's a common practice
corduroys.
amongst
It's like clothes are so
Psychotic murderers.
confining. He's like, really, I'm a nudist, but society isn't ready for a nude vigilante.
That's how they punish me.
God, imagine that.
The nude vigilante. The naked Punisher.
Well, I tell you what.
Naked Punisher.
I tell you what, a naked dude starts running towards me, I'm gonna stop doing whatever it is I'm doing.
Get the fuck out of there.
Is that what if he shaved the skull pattern into his chest hair?
Oh,
You got the real workings
shit.
of a character
Is that
here.
Frank Castle?
I think people running is funny in general, but yeah, naked running, naked male running.
Running towards somebody in a threatening manner naked.
Right.
Dear God. At the scene of the explosion, Detective Jake Berkowitz is surveying the scene of the crime. A reporter asks him about his belief that Frank Castle is the Punisher, despite being officially labeled dead by the police. Berkowitz blows them off when he's confronted by, was that the DA? So someone from the mayor's office? I didn't catch it. They're checking.
Captain or
Some
something.
guy.
So he says no comment a couple of times to whatever they're asking just about this crime.
Yeah.
But then they ask him about Frank Castle, and he's just like, absolutely, I believe that blah, blah. That he's alive. It's like, comes right
You got to
out.
stop telling the press that. Berkowitz. Jake.
Why is that the only thing you're telling the press,
Right.
Jake? You're a better detective than that.
Is he?
And then we meet Sam, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. So,
Computer hacker extraordinary.
yeah. So, Detective Sam, yes, Leary, who wants to be his partner.
Yeah, so I've never seen that before. Well, we've seen over and over again the new partner who's been assigned. Like,
Yeah.
you got this new partner. Like, I've never seen one cop pitch it to another cop.
I want to be your partner.
Yeah, it's
Is
like,
that
don't
even
you
how
get
that
orders?
works?
Yeah, it's like, please, can I come on?
Well, and
you
he's
have
like,
to
I work
convince her.
alone. It's like, did they just let you do that?
Right.
Is that
that's what I
okay?
mean. Yeah. Like did anybody send her, or
Yeah.
she showed up and
Does-
just convinced him?
Do they have a boss?
Yes, they do.
Seriously.
Yes, I'm sure the Seattle Police Department as a chief.
Seattle
It's clearly not effective.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Guard.
Yeah, for real. If there are all these gangs and Yakuza and everybody invading, the
Yeah,
police
where's
are
the
very
FBI?
ineffective. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
So yeah, at first he's uninterested, but then when she tells him that she believes that Castle's the Punisher, he says, "Do you know where my office is?"
Yeah, you said the magic word that I said just earlier.
I didn't. None of the movies or anything that she'd been in like jumped out at me, but her name deserves a mention. The actress,
Yes, it does.
Nancy Everhard.
Everhard.
Yeah,
Everhard.
And so she's the white Yakuza lady?
no, that's Detective
Oh,
Sam Leary,
Sam. Right.
the
Sorry.
one we were just
Hacker
talking about.
extraordinaire.
Okay, Everhard.
Anyway, she's an actress and she worked in this movie and she was fine.
All right.
The next day, retired mob boss Gianni Franco arrives back in town from Europe. He tells the press he doesn't believe in the Punisher and trades.
Because that went well for the last guy.
Right, I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
This is the one-armed man
Yes.
from
Yes.
The
Yes.
Fugitive. Okay.
Belief has anything to do with it.
Yeah, and trades a couple barbs with Berkowitz. He has a meeting with his younger brother and explains his plan for uniting the crime families of New York. Seattle.
Seattle.
I'm sorry. I wrote this note before I realized it was in Seattle.
The four families.
What finally tipped you off?
Well, you told me, Al.
Yeah.
And then when they were looking at the map,
The map on the computer, yeah.
yeah, on the computer and then on his wall.
Oh, right.
I paused it and looked and then compared it to Seattle. I was like, yep, that's Seattle.
Because the first time I watched it, I swore I heard someone just outright say Seattle. But then I didn't hear it the second time.
Yeah, I couldn't find.
But I
anyone
saw the
bringing it
map,
up.
which I was glad that I didn't
Right.
give you bad information.
And it was marked the. How do you say it? Puget.
Puget.
Sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah.
So
the,
he's
the,
go-
f- the four families.
the four families of Seattle.
There's the lumberjack family.
Yeah, no way. There's
The
the
Huskies.
Bezos family.
Yeah. There's a family that's just like a doomsday prepper militia guys.
The Huskies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go Huskies.
the Cobains.
The Mariners.
The Mariners, exactly. All the cartels.
The Seahawks. Yeah. So, he's going to unite them all through one massive drug deal. That night, a drunken wreck named Shake gets kicked out of a bar and is lured into an alley by Frank Castle.
What is the fuck with that character?
That dude,
They're
with the
quoting Shakespeare the whole time.
Yeah,
And
too.
rhyming.
Yeah.
Inexplicably rhyming.
yes, rhyming constantly and Shakespeare.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
Did they just feel like he needed a sidekick?
Yeah. I mean, clearly he's just supposed to be the sidekick.
Yeah.
Comic relief.
Punisher's always kind
Little
of had
of both.
those kinds of people in his orbit, though, that he uses without any like hesitation.
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
I,
this guy was down in his little like sewer
Yeah.
apartment
No, no,
or whatever.
I totally get
And,
the I totally get the narrative function of this character, but the character himself is
Oh God,
weird.
He's a
weird
wreck.
to watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
weird to listen to talk.
He's not just an informant. They hang out.
Yeah.
To a
They
certain
hang out.
degree.
And how does this drunk actor have all this information about the crime family?
The Yakuza in particular.
Right.
Hanging out in bars.
Serving his
Because the
purpose.
Yakuza are so known for going to bars and spilling to drunks about what the Yakuza is doing.
In Washington State, the greater Washington area.
Yeah. So he tells Castle about the drug deal going down and that Franco will be there. Castle rides away on his motorcycle. At the pier, a tugboat full of drugs arrives, but so does the Yakuza. They start.
So you saw the pirates I was so gleefully
So
talking about.
he
One
already-
of them even had the
Technically smugglers.
He already
Okay,
killed
they
the
were
guy.
dressed like pirates.
They were dressed
that's
like
the
pirates.
problem. Even those like this cross stitch tunic thing that you see medieval characters wear.
like
Yeah, they look-
Castle killed the guy who killed his family, right? That was the first guy that he killed.
Yeah, he
Yes.
took care of that guy.
Yeah.
I think.
He's now killing this guy because he doesn't believe in Frank Castle being alive.
Seems
Well,
like,
and he is a crime
because
boss.
he's a
He's
crime
just-
boss.
Yeah.
Still going after
Like,
the
doing a
mob.
drug deal.
Yeah, he's just doing mob killings.
So now he is just the Punisher. It's just weird that they have him kill the guy who killed his family like
right at the beginning,
Allegedly.
immediately.
it's weird that
allegedly. Of
it's
course,
weird that
this
it
is
wasn't
America.
Franco. Why wasn't it Franco?
That
Right?
killed his
It could have
family,
been Franco at the end who he could have been like, you know, it's funny. I killed your family. Yeah. God, that would have been great.
You ever dance with the devil?
Yeah, that would.
You made me. I made you.
But like saying it out loud now, I thought of this at any moment before now. Like that would have worked really well and
Yeah.
made him a more complex villain and been like, oh shit, that's interesting.
Yeah, it would have made sense.
That would have pissed off Frank Castle even more, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Instead of him being like, thank you for helping me save my boy.
And
Sorry,
now-
spoiler alert.
But yeah. Now I'm going to kill you so that there's no one to
Their
stop me
interaction
being-
and their relationship makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
At all.
At all.
Because Frank Castle was gonna kill him, and no matter what.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the Yakuza starts killing off all the local gangsters, and the Punisher, who also showed up, is kind of like, "Oh, hey,
Yeah,
thanks, guys,
Right.
for doing my job." But then he gets caught in the crossfire. He starts killing Yakuza and Mafia alike before sending a van full of heroin into the bay.
Yeah.
The zip line arrow through the chest was
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But I have to feel like that is after you plunge an arrow into someone's chest, it is no longer a stable zip line for you to zip line.
Yeah.
Seriously. Takes a lot of weight to
Gonna stand.
counterweight that
Like,
kind of thing.
I got you, Frank. I got you.
Slide down now. Slide down now.
Yeah. He's just going to fall on his face and that body's going to come dragging towards him on the ground.
But yeah, it was such a free for all. If you didn't catch that they were the Yakuza, it almost seemed like they were the henchmen of the Punisher. You know what I mean?
Oh,
'Cause
totally.
They were going after the
that's
Franco
interesting,
family and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, it's like for a second.
Like, does the Punisher have a bunch of guys?
Right, exactly. It's just as silly as
The
the
guys
Joker
from his
had.
unit, not from Nam, though.
No, that he hired, in Seattle. He put it up with the little tabs you rip off, like when you're looking for a bassist for your band. Henchman. Call the Punisher.
Needed proficiency with weapons.
Klondike 7 444.
625 an hour.
It's
Hey, in
competitive.
Seattle, it's a living wage.
I'm just not going to be a barista again. I'm going to tell you that.
I can't do it.
Just can't do it.
I can't wake up at 4 a.m. anymore.
Questionable ethics a plus.
So Castle takes a knife.
In Microsoft Word and Excel.
Because Castle can't type.
No,
He doesn't want to do the clerical shit. Because when you're kicking ass, you're taking names. So there's got to be a lot of paperwork involved.
He's like, yeah, listen, if you can create a database of the names I take while I'm kicking ass, that would be great.
This is my henchman, Zach.
This operation's kind of
My
it's
henchman.
outgrowing itself,
Mr. Castle, we were due.
Yeah, Mr. It's Kevin's birthday this week. We were wondering if we could get a cake.
I can order it from from the Ralphs.
Let me get you the company
Oh,
card.
yeah. What are their chain of grocery stores? That's more interesting.
Is this real Seattle or New York Seattle?
right.
Okay, so
I assume there's a Piggly Wiggly.
Of course. The Pacific Northwest.
So Castle takes a knife to the chest, thrown by a female Yakuza in a wetsuit, and then falls into the water himself.
Like the female Yakuza, though, right?
Well, I'm unclear if that was the white lady or Lady Tanaka.
I think it's Lady Tanaka. That's what I thought. I don't know.
So the white lady was billed as Tanaka's daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, she was her adopted daughter.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Her
that makes sense.
adopted blind.
I assume that was
Tanaka
Wait,
was a
blind?
cool villain.
Deaf.
She was
mute.
mute.
Oh, mute.
Mute.
Okay. Mute and blind is
Deaf.
yeah, close enough.
Playing the role of Helen Keller in this film.
Helen Keller, Yakuza
Sorry.
enforcer.
Now that's a fucking movie.
That's a movie. That's up there with Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Let me touch your face before I blow it off.
The Miracle Murderer. Yeah, so they spray bullets into the bay after him. And then the next day, the police pull the van out of the water, and Detective Berkowitz and Leary are on the scene. They're the only two detectives on any crime scene.
Yeah, he had to be convinced
Yeah,
to take her on.
it's been blamed.
Like an apprenticeship.
Right? Yeah. Like she's Robin.
Right. You're not going to get paid for the first 3 years, but
She's like,
that's what you got to do.
But detectives.
A tattoo artist?
It's been blamed on gang war, but Berkowitz notices Castle's knife. Meanwhile, in the extraordinarily clean sewer system, Frank cauterizes his knife wound. Across town, the leaders of the crime families meet with the Yakuza, led by Lady Tanaka, who tells them that the Yakuza will now oversee crime in the city, with the mafia families only getting 25% of the cut.
Yeah. Cold-blooded.
Yeah, they leave, and it's revealed that the Punisher has bugged the meeting room and is listening on
Down the
speaker
sewer.
system. Yeah, the speaker system. It's not headphones.
A single speaker just hanging on the wall.
Yes.
There's no speaker box.
Yep.
It's just a raw speaker.
Yeah. How is it
Mounted to the
transmitting?
wall.
Is he underneath where they are?
It's just a tube, and he has a can.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's not a
probably more accurate
It's not a
than what he
cellular
actually
phone.
had.
2 cans and a
Not
string.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's military grade technology.
He's listening in as Gianni tells the others they're going to war. Back in police headquarters, Berkowitz laughs at Larry's use of computers to look for patterns in the Punisher's activities.
What are you going to do on that? Play Miss Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Not even regular Pac-Man, Miss
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, because she's a lady.
It took so long for pop culture to stop acting like computers were the most confusing,
Like
fucking thing. It took
craziest
so
fad
long.
in the world.
Right. This came out in 92. People were already having the internet in their homes.
And
But
this is a
in
decent-
movies and shows, it was like, that calculator's huge.
She makes a decent example of how you use a computer to your advantage in a situation like this too. I mean, it's a little Hollywood still,
Sure,
but saying like, yeah, we're using the computer to look for patterns is a thing that people do.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
they're
But
almost
he looks
better
at
it than
it,
we
you
are.
know.
Yeah, she
Like,
wasn't
what
like
is it?
typing it with like a picture of the knife and then
Yeah.
like zooms in and there's like, look, you can see a reflection of his
Exactly.
face.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she's not as talented as Gus from Superman 3, but
Oh, yeah,
no.
but it was more of like an analytic, data-oriented approach,
Yes.
which is interesting in
algorithms,
describing
yeah,
that kind of
without
thing. Yeah,
saying it, yeah.
So he tells her he's been doing this for years with no luck. She suggests they look under the city.
And this is where we see the shell casing collection
And the,
in the wooden box.
and the
And
Putting
the
his
knife.
hands
and the map of Seattle.
right.
Yeah.
Right. It's so somebody has a hunch that he's underground. Check. Just I don't know. Check. Go down there and check. It's not a huge city.
Then we get a montage of the mafia boss's children being kidnapped by the Yakuza. In the sewer, Shake finds the Punisher and pleads to them to save the children who are likely to be sold into slave trade.
No, he's a slave business. It's just funny. Just that word is just
The
an odd
slave
choice.
business.
Slave trade. We know that. Yeah.
Slave business.
Slave business. It's like show business.
There's
Like
no
trying to
business
spice it
like
up.
slave business.
The best business I know.
Oh, God. Regardless of whether the mafia give in to their demands, Castle drives away seemingly unconvinced. The mob bosses meet to discuss what to do about their kidnapped children. Gianni tells them that there's nothing they can do to stop Lady Tanaka.
And then he tells that story of her killing her twin
Yes.
to prove how badass she was.
Yeah. As she's completely ruthless, and the other bosses decide to go meet with her to discuss her demands. Gianni says he won't go.
He's already. It's weird because he's already hatching a plan. He mentions, they say, "Is there nothing we can do to save our kids?" And he says, "There is. It's lying at the bottom of the bay." Or
Oh yeah, he does say
it's
that.
lying at the bottom of the harbor,
Yeah.
implying the Punisher. But just like, you mean so there was a solution,
And now it's
now
dead.
Now he's dead.
Yeah,
Right.
or-
are you suspecting he's alive? You just
Yeah.
got your fingers crossed, hoping.
Yeah, what exactly
good
is
point.
going down
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
He's already thinking, he's like, well, hey, maybe Punisher will show up again. We'll team up,
Right.
do a buddy thing.
Maybe that's what we'll do.
I've been meaning to spend some time with them.
Well, he's a clever Australian Italian guy.
Yeah. At Yakuza headquarters, a delivery of money for slaves arrived.
Was that at the club?
No, it was their headquarters.
yeah.
Oh, right.
Up at the top of the building where
Yakuza Tower.
Yakuza. And so and there's like that room full of guys like doing sword fights.
Right.
And then they go through and they have like the suitcase full of money and she says, the slave trade is so profitable.
Yeah. It's like the third movie where,
It's
the white slave trade.
Yeah.
Which I know, trafficking is what it's
mean,
called.
yeah.
But it's just so funny as a writing device. Like that, I guess that was in the zeitgeist in the late 80s,
I guess, yeah.
being sold into white
Can
slavery
you imagine
By the
getting
Japanese.
by the Japanese.
Can you imagine getting a suitcase full of money and saying the slave trade is so profitable? It's like, who is she talking to?
I can't,
We all know this already. That's why we're doing it.
It's historically it was profitable. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you can't even picture a cocaine dealer saying that. The cocaine business is so,
it's like, yeah, why are you saying
who
that?
reflects? Yeah,
Kenny?
so that's why we're.
Are you wearing a fucking wire, man?
Yeah. Why did you mention the crime we're doing out loud?
Are you taking fucking notes on a criminal conspiracy?
Applejack,
We all
get me
know.
out of here.
We all know what we're doing. Why did you say it?
Yeah. There's no reason for that. The children are being held in a pen and they fight amongst themselves.
Yeah, the Stanford prison.
All of a sudden, this is a
experiment,
children's movie.
Stanford
Right.
kindergarten experiment.
Yeah, Tommy with his magic tricks and like standing up to the man. And there's that one point where it looks like he's like teaming up with Castle and like they're gonna face off together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the close-up magic tricks, but also that scene. So there's Franco and then there's Tommy, and they're talking to another mafioso. But like Tommy just carries himself as if he's also one of the heads of the Ford family.
Yeah, no,
He gets
totally.
up, he's like, all right,
Let's do it.
cool, I'll see it.
It'd be like, you see this coin is gone. Mind freak.
And he flips it back to the mind freak. He flips it back to the guy like, you lose something? I don't know, just a lot of bravado on that young man.
He's a smooth little motherfucker.
Exactly.
Tommy Franco.
He is?
In this scene where they're captured, he hits that guy with the chair. Like,
Yeah, over his back.
over his back.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
Like Bart and Homer.
Oh my God. Yeah, so yeah, that's all that happens. They take a little girl away and Tommy fights back. That night the Punisher attacks a Yakuza rich people party.
Underground casino and strip club.
Yeah.
And like
With a steady cam shot like in Goodfellas. Like
Yeah.
it's over the shoulder of this woman as she's walking, down like
and like
following Ray
the
Liotta.
entertainment is like female bodybuilders posing.
Right. Yeah. And the song that's playing, it's loud and you can hear the lyrics and everything, but it sounds like a Dr. John impersonating. I was in the wrong place. But it must have been the wrong time. It's just like that's a weird tone. That's in the Yakuza.
This is how Yakuza party in the 80s, right?
Dr. John Mac Rebenak from New Orleans. The Yakuza can't get enough.
So then then the Punisher attacks them,
Crashes through the
skylight, and he tells
Batman
them
style.
then he starts just blasting like the room, telling them that he's going
That's
to
how he
cost
does.
them money. Because that's what he does. The Punisher is known for causing property damage in order to annoy bad guys.
Every day the children are gone is going to cost you money.
I strike fear in the hearts of all states.
Also, I will charge you a service fee. What it is for, you won't know.
2% on all unpaid invoices
Maintenance.
after 30 days.
$5 per day late fee.
Do you agree?
Click.
He's like, is there anyone left alive to agree to my terms?
This website uses cookies.
And so he shoots everybody. And then he grabs one of the Yakuza guys and he's like, blah, 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 tell your bosses, blah, blah. It's like, how did he know he got an English speaking? Right.
Yeah, the Yakuza guy's like, does anyone know what this guy's saying?
You know what he said? I think he's hungry or he's
If
looking
he
for the
spoke
bathroom.
English, he was probably still saying, does anybody know what that guy just mumbled at me? Like, what?
So I realized the other day, sidebar, I realized the other day, that's going to become a running gag, that I was watching Endgame, and I realized at like the moment, spoilers, everybody, Endgame spoilers, everybody listening,
so
for like, you might want to skip ahead like 30, 40 seconds, that at the very end in the assemble moment, that Cap screams, Avengers, and then very quietly says, assemble.
Yeah.
So you have to think like all the guys at the end were like, what did he say?
What was the last thing?
What was it?
Avengers?
Did he say go? Oh, we're running.
Oh, he said take 5? He said a hard 15 for lunch.
You guys wait while I go fight the enemy. I'm just going to stay here until that all sorts itself out.
Avengers. Yeah, we are, Cap.
Wait, did he say something
Did he
else?
say something after that?
But he looked great doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The whole
It's a
thing.
good-
Oh, they were all wearing
of that is
earpieces because
wonderful.
every Avenger wears an earpiece.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
They
that's
were all
Oh,
communicating
yeah.
with each other. That's right.
They're all
Of course.
fun. They're all well funded. Tony Stark's back in.
But it's funnier to imagine. It's a game of telephone.
Yeah,
they just
very
have to
true.
pass it down the line.
He
The
said
chicken wore pants?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. He said assemble. We did.
Yeah.
We're all right here.
We're here.
Now
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Oh, assemble means attack? Why didn't you tell us that?
Like, do you want us to make a pattern? Do we just form into a circle or something?
By the way, guys, we will be getting to Avengers Endgame in 2022.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
stick around.
That's insane.
When the police arrive at the crime scene, they're told by a witness that Castle is the one that stole the mafia children. Berkowitz doesn't buy it. And he rips open the shirt to reveal that the Yakuza tattoos on the back of the
Yeah.
Which the Punisher has as well.
the
Right.
tattoos. Does he?
In the last shot where he's naked and
Oh, yeah, he's got
doesn't
some-
he have back tattoos?
No,
No. He's
don't
just
think so.
that's just dirt.
that's just dirt and
That is just his, like,
oil,
chimney
just
sweep
sweat.
look.
He's shiny.
He's
You know,
gross.
there's
It might have been
no
like an
tattoo.
impressionist scene.
That's that.
I don't know about that. Okay.
That's just like
I don't know.
homeless dirtiness.
So
Doesn't bathe anywhere but the sewer.
So Shake leads Frank Castle to an amusement park where he's been told the children are being held. Inside, Castle is ambushed and the Yakuza capture the Punisher, who loses consciousness. He awakes.
Well, the carnival warehouse. It was kind of cool when the Yakuza attacked. They're all sliding down those wavy slides on their knees, and
like,
yeah.
whee!
There was a long couple of those shots. There were a lot of people who came down slides with machine guns.
Were, yeah.
It's hard to aim coming down a funhouse slide.
And Castle was like blasting them with a shotgun
Oh yeah, from like 100 yards away.
100 yards away, hitting individual people.
Yeah. Just shooting them, and they're fine. Just dead.
So, okay, so he was a Seattle PD detective. His family was killed. Where did he get all this armament and hand-to-hand combat training?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Master Splinter?
Sniper training.
Yeah.
Well, and
He checked out some books.
we see him ride his motorcycle in the sewers, and then I think the funhouse. There's another scene where he drives into a building.
Yeah.
So he drives his motorcycle
Wherever
into
he
things
feels
alive.
like.
It's very odd. How do you get a motorcycle down the sewer?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that implies there's a ramp.
This sewer system is insane because okay, again, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself until we get to this part. All right. So he wakes to find himself chained up on a mechanical torture table, also known as like
A rack.
a rack. Yeah. Lady Tanaka tries to torture him into giving her information. What does she want to know exactly? What? Because she wants him to tell her something, but what was it?
Oh, no. I don't. So what she said was just, you cost us nearly $2 million. How much pain do you think that buys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And he says, is the question true, false, or multiple choice?
Yeah, I just said that.
And then she says, who sent you? And he says, Batman.
That's her.
So maybe she was trying to figure out who sent him. That was the direct question. But
Who sent him? Okay,
Yeah.
that was it.
but other than that, she was just like, I feel like torturing you.
Yeah,
You
then-
cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, then she leaves and she's like, you guys go ahead and do it. We've got to get this torturing done and I don't have time.
It was pretty badass when she went to leave. He says, have a nice day.
Yeah.
I thought it was badass. Yes,
It's like,
he's thoughtful. Just
he's like, I'm trying to come up with catchphrases. What about this one?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
That's the same one that Forrest Gump came up with. Have a nice day.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never gonna keep me down.
I drink a sewer drink. I drink a bucket drink.
All right.
Yeah.
So
He loves
okay.
down there.
Okay, so they really didn't think through his manacles.
No,
Because that
they're held together with a wing nut.
right next to his fingers.
Undoing it
Right next to
Yes,
his
in
finger.
front of them too. So obviously, like straining.
It's by design the easiest nut to crack.
Yes, that's the point of the wing nut.
So dumb. It's such a stupid. Why? Why not just use chains, which are also dumb?
Yeah, or handcuffs.
Which are
like-
also dumb.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah, no.
why a wing nut?
A wing nut. His manacles are held together with a wing nut, which is on the side facing his fingers.
Right.
It's not even on the wrist side.
Well, and I was waiting for her to pull out a cast iron fish mold thing.
Oh man,
Stick on his face.
So yeah, him and Shake escape, and the guards tell him where the children are being kept. In the sewers, Berkowitz and Larry are looking for clues, and Berkowitz reveals that Castle, his ex-partner, helped him overcome his alcoholism. And that's it.
And apparently this is the first time in 5 years it's occurred to Berkowitz to take a peek down there.
Down in the tunnels, yeah. Where could someone hide all this time for 5 years in this city?
it's hard to be a detective when you're
The Space
sober.
Needle. It's hard to what?
Be a detective when you're sober.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Like, I think
From what I've gathered.
They spend all their time drinking like Seagrams in the backseat of their fucking cruiser.
Yeah.
They set this up with a line from when Leary and Berkowitz were talking in their office. He says, I've been all over this city, in it, around it, on top of it. And then she says, what about under it?
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
But again, I mean, that really should have occurred to him
Yeah,
at some
that-
point
that
in the
was
5
point,
previous
yeah.
years.
I mean, like I said, this particular week in Punisher's life, it's easy to catch him.
Yeah.
Find
So
him.
in a busy
He promised himself he would never end up in the gutter again.
in a busy restaurant, the mob bosses and Gianni wait Lady Tanaka. She arrives and kills them all. That earring thing, rips
Yeah.
her daughter,
Yeah.
rips the earrings out and uses them as throwing
Well,
stars.
and all the customers in the restaurants are assassins.
Yeah. Yeah,
they're all
That's
assassins.
pretty badass. But yeah, the earring daggers.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And it pins his hands to the wall.
To the wall.
They pin his hands to
This
the wall
man
with
cannot move then.
the earrings
The earrings.
that are barely sticking out of his hand.
Yeah, it probably were little metal feathers.
Yeah, and so and she poisoned them. You're already dead. And she starts like rubbing the wine glass. So meanwhile, the Punisher steals a bus It lets the guy that was asleep off and gives him a transfer.
Yeah,
That shit was hilarious.
Like when Kramer took the bus.
Yeah.
You kept making the stops.
Kept making the stops.
He breaks into the Yakuza building where the kids are being held. He manages to rescue all of them except Tommy.
And Kathy.
Then he goes back for Tommy and Kathy. Kathy gets on the bus, but Tommy don't make it.
Yeah, he got... Tommy tried to help out Castle and got knocked out by a henchman.
Well, yeah, that was the scene
and
where
he just couldn't...
That was the scene where like Tommy and Castle are like walking down like the hallway, like they're about ready to kick ass together.
Yeah.
Tommy has like that swagger. He's like, let's get him, Frank.
He's like, if I don't have an older British man, then I'll take a kid.
So yeah.
He's infamously partnerless.
Yeah.
The Punisher.
But here he's got
not a people person.
He's got Shake and Tommy.
Like, I'm not the Punisher, but an hour of rhyming, and that guy's getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah, how is the Punisher not drinking himself to death
Right.
too?
Oh
hanging out
my
with that
god,
guy?
Shake.
You fucking rhyme one more time, bro. It's just you and I.
So
More rhyming, I mean it.
Right?
anybody got
want
a
a
peanut?
Exactly.
He makes his escape in the bus, but the Yakuza give chase. He finally evades them, only to run into a police roadblock where he is arrested.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. We got him.
This was the week they really concentrated their efforts.
He turns over the children to the police.
He does.
But so all the cars, they say state police, but they don't say which state.
Right.
That's funny.
And then, yeah, on some panels it just says state.
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 Like, God damn it, they fucked up the car paint job again.
I have a question, and Al might have an explanation, but there was a point with
If
Lady.
I don't, I'll make one up.
Yeah, well, that's good enough for me. There was a scene with Lady Tanaka, and it almost seemed like she had some sort of supernatural power. What were those dudes rolling on the ground? Do you remember that? No. It was like it was like the Sith chokeout kind of thing. Like she was standing there, and then you guys don't remember the three guys in front of her, and they're like, writhing in pain.
Well, was that when they were being poisoned in the restaurant?
Is that what it was? Poison?
Yeah.
Well, and she was rubbing the wine glass, so it was like making like a crystal noise.
Yes.
Yeah, so it almost seemed like that was like activating the poison.
Yes,
but I think she was just watching them die and doing that.
Just provoking them. Yeah.
Yes, that's precisely. Yeah, she was doing the sound.
Yeah, she was making the sound on the wine glass, but I don't think it was.
She was just doing that to be annoying.
Right.
as you die.
To add insult to injury.
Right.
Well, and obviously poison explains the writhing, but yeah, it wasn't quite clear.
No, yeah, it's for a second I was wondering
like
if
she
she
had
was
a power.
activating the poison with her wine glass.
Right. And right after, earrings
Right.
and the guy to the wall. I was like, oh, she has powers. But she doesn't.
No, she doesn't.
Just leadership skills.
Yes. she motivates people.
She's a manager of people.
Of paper products.
Throughout the greater Northwest.
I'd love to see Michael Scott Yakuza boss. So yeah. While in custody, Castle is reunited with Berkowitz, who is angry that Castle never came to him for help and warns him that his multiple killings will likely get him executed.
Yeah,
It's 125.
That's going to bite you in the ass, Frank.
There may be some consequences for that, Frank.
He says, you're sick, you know that. What the hell do you call 125 murders in 5 years? A work in progress.
Yeah, a good start. Oh, work in progress.
Work in progress.
Yeah, that was it.
Seeing that Frank won't accept his help, Berkowitz leaves angrily.
I think it's Tommy. Somebody else shit cops, but it was obviously supposed to be like shit cops.
Oh yeah,
but they ran it together. Shit cops.
Those are the worst kind.
They're the worst. Yeah. But he lives in a sewer, so I thought maybe that was the jurisdiction.
The
shit cops.
The shit cops. The next day, while being transported to court in an armored vehicle, Leary tells Castle that Berkowitz quit the force. Like she says that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
No.
So what is Berkowitz doing afterwards? Okay. Because he really takes charge when they get to the tower later on.
Yes.
like he's still a cop.
Yeah.
The only detective on the force, because I'm pretty sure Leary's dead now from that car crash.
Yeah.
We never see her again.
What happened?
Yeah, you don't see her again.
Like, and his men show up and like, I'm pretty sure they kill the drivers. Why would they not kill Leary too?
right.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, so Leary tells Castle that Berkowitz quit the force after becoming disillusioned by his meeting with the Punisher.
She had gum.
You should never meet your heroes.
Right, exactly. And was it the conversation with Louis Gossett Jr.? But at some point, Punisher was like, Frank is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the
Only
jail,
Zool.
in the jail cell.
Well, no,
I am the Dark Overlord.
but then at the end, doesn't he say call him?
Gatekeeper.
Like he says to call. He tells Leary to call Berkowitz.
Yeah.
He said, like, that's the last thing before it cuts away. He says, call him. Like, with what? It's 1989. There are no cell phones.
Hope to catch him.
So, yeah, at this point, the transport is attacked by Gianni's men and Castle is kidnapped. He's taken away and chained up so Gianni can talk to him. Gianni tells him that he never meant to hurt Castle's family and asks him to help rescue his son. Castle refuses, and Gianni reveals that he's holding Berkowitz hostage, threatening to kill him if Castle won't help. Frank finally agrees, but warns Gianni that afterwards he'll kill him.
Are you calling him Gianni because Frank and Franco would be too confusing?
Well, yeah. Well, and Franco.
I know it's Gianni Franco, but
Gianni.
But I just heard the name Franco so many more times in the movie itself
Then John.
than Gianni.
But they kept calling Frank. They kept calling the Punisher Frank,
Right.
and calling him Franco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you guys do this?
Yeah.
It's like
Not
Wario.
well thought out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the evil Punisher.
Punisher.
Franco. Wario.
Bizarro Punisher.
Yeah.
We're the Frank brothers. Our first name. So Luigi's name is Luigi Mario, and Mario's name is Mario Mario.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The
Are
Mario
you serious?
Brothers. Well,
They're the Mario brothers.
Yeah.
Holy
Usually
crap.
it goes,
Mario
yeah.
Mario.
And Luigi
And
Mario.
Luigi Mario.
Uh,
Oh, that's, wow. Ruined forever.
in the sewers, the Punisher, Shake, and Gianni in an awesome acid wash jean jacket. I'm pretty sure I had that jacket in 8th grade
When
in 1989.
Acid wash.
when Frank agreed to help get Tommy back, he warns he warns Gianni. He warns Gianni. I can't say it.
Johnny,
Anyway,
said,
he warns him that
"Smile
once
in
this is
a
all
special
over,
way."
he's dead.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
they both
tells,
said that
he
to each
tells
other.
him straight out, just like, "I'll help you, but when this is over, I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So they get ready for the assault on the Yakuza. Shake is to stay behind to detonate explosives at the right time, while Gianni and Franco and Castle do the rescue.
Frank refuses body armor.
Yes, because
It's just not tough.
Yeah, he's got nothing to live
Yeah,
for.
that's also not a Punisher thing. He
Right.
wears lots of body armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really can't.
Underneath the
But
Kevlar.
but
You
to be
can't complete your revenge plot.
but to be fair, that vest he was trying to put on him did not look like it was a very effective body
No.
armor.
And it was blue.
Oh yeah, that might have been the real reason.
It just clashed with the black.
Meanwhile, Berkowitz escapes from Franco's goons rather easily.
Yeah, I would say.
He used the whole I need to take a leak trick.
That is so old.
Oh yeah, that is what Lou Gossett. Yeah, that's right. So he's like, "Are you gonna handle the equipment for me?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, grumble, grumble.
And he asks,
Did not anticipate
is
this.
an IQ test required for this job? He's like, no. It's like, didn't think so. And then knocks him out.
Yeah.
I just saw a flyer in the quad.
And then
Make good money after
and then
part time.
and then the second goon enters. And he says, "Hey guys, I got pizza."
Yeah, that's right.
This is the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah, because
This
it
is the
reminds
best.
me of the champagne guy in the beginning.
Exactly. This is the second time someone enters the scene so happy about
So
these
excited.
These goons
Look
love
what
to
I
party.
got.
Look,
But
guys.
they brought it here.
the best part of the movie, Berkowitz takes him down and then takes a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
eats it.
Pizzas and sewers, man.
Hey, man.
Just picks it up off the floor.
Together like
Floor pie.
Franco and the Punisher fight their way through rooms of Yakuza. Wait. There we are. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Then-
So it's Yakuza
okay.
Tower, but it has all the rice paper walls.
Then, wait. No, we're not there yet. Through the large, clean electrical housing corridors with unnecessarily large man-sized vents that lead into the hallways that every major building in Seattle has,
Right.
Castle and Gianni break into the Yakuza headquarters. What the fuck was that corridor room thing?
I don't know. It's a good point.
It had electrical housing and it ran parallel to all the halls, but it was the size of a hall. And it had a air vent. It was not a duct. It wasn't for like air conditioning. It had all that electrical housing. It looked like it was somewhere where you could like work on the electrical stuff. So why was there a vent leading into the hallway? That was
question.
man-sized. The vent was
Man-sized, right.
he punched through it and then
He
like
just-
walked through it like a doorway.
Right. He just comes through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? Franco and the Punisher fight their way through rooms of Yakuza warriors.
Tanaka's upstairs practicing kabuki dance.
Yeah. You just
For
do
her recitals coming up.
Yeah.
it. While Shake accidentally knocks the detonator through a grate in the floor. Forcing him to use a knife and then a gun to put the lights out and detonate the bomb. He shoots the detonator.
Yeah, that just defied
When in doubt.
all the laws of electricity and
That's not how
mechanical switches.
You
So
can't
the-
shoot the button.
The bullet pressed the button down a split second before the bullet destroyed the
I
detonator.
mean, electricity
entirely.
does travel faster than bullets.
I guess.
I'll allow it.
Sure, that's what happened. He does his job and escapes through a manhole to the streets above, running into Berkowitz, who's arrived at the scene with the police. Berkowitz runs into the Yakuza headquarters, but is unable to get upstairs because the elevators are out of commission. Like, how long is it going to take?
Elevators are complicated business.
10 minutes?
yeah.
I'm a teamster.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a union elevator guy. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Berkowitz strong arms him a little bit, so he amends his estimate to 5 minutes.
Yes.
that's right. He was padding it.
Well, we ain't going to take the stairs, I'll tell you that.
Yakuza.
Gianni catches up with Lady Tanaka, and she threatens to cut Tommy's throat unless Franco kills himself. He's ready to do it, but then the Punisher bursts in at the last second, killing Lady Tanaka.
With one of his knives, right?
Yeah.
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 He's playing real fucking games with that kid's life.
Right? The red scene before where he was fighting
Oh, yeah.
the hand-to-hand combat, fighting the guys, where he fights the one guy and finally kills him, and the other guy stands up right at the moment he kills the other guy. He's like, I'm not unconscious anymore.
Yeah, there were some slow-moving fight sequences where it was just
Very
like
slow
just so
moving.
obviously stage combat. Yeah,
Well, and like, if that thing happened where like he's like been stabbed and punched and he can barely stand, but then as soon as he kills the guy, he's fine and he gets up and starts running.
right.
Yeah.
Refreshed, respawn.
The fight with Tanaka's daughter was pretty cool.
Yes, it was.
She
Yeah.
was an adept fighter
Yeah,
with lots of blades coming out of her shoes,
Yes.
and she still has the earring, knives.
yeah, she was
but
pretty badass.
ultimately, she gets her neck snapped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Just,
Kind of, without any
yeah, it just,
real,
Just does it.
it's not an easy thing to do.
But like, he threw her through the paper wall, and that looked so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. No, go ahead.
downstairs, the elevators are finally working, and the cops head on up. Upon being reunited with his son, Franco betrays the Punisher. But Castle defends himself and kills Franco. Franco's son then threatens to shoot the Punisher for killing his father, but cannot bring himself to do it.
Tommy had a weird turnaround here because when he walks in, Franco's about to kill Frank, and he freaks out like, "Dad, what are you doing?" And then they start tussling, and Tommy tells his dad to stop hurting him. Stop. But then his dad gets killed, and now he wants to kill the guy he was just trying to save.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to figure like he's just like overwhelmed with emotion, like my dad.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And at first it was just the childlike innocence. So just stop fighting.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
And then it was, oh my God, you killed my dad.
Yeah.
why do we always have to fight? Why can't we just be a family?
And then Tommy points the gun at Frank's head, and Frank just goes into this really weird trip. Like, do it, kid. Do it. Shoot me. I don't care. Do it. You know, like that.
Yeah, not
That's
helpful.
intense.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He says maybe if you get it over with now, then
You won't have to do it later.
Yeah, you won't grow up to be like him.
Right. Those are all some pretty heavy trips to land.
Yeah, right.
I got nothing to live for.
Do it, motherfucker.
Exactly. It's like the deer hunt. Diddy bow.
So yeah, Castle warns Franco's son to stay a good boy, grow up to be a good man, not following his father's misdeeds. He also warns he'll return should the boy commit any crimes. Then he disappears. The police arrive only to find no trace of the Punisher. Meanwhile, in his lair, Castle lets the audience know that he will be waiting in the shadows, serving his own brand of justice while he meditates naked.
Again.
In the sewer.
Berkowitz, I'm sorry to backtrack. Berkowitz found Tommy and asked him which way he went. And he goes out on the balcony and he just shouts Frank's name from the tower balcony.
Like, he's probably back in the sewer. I don't know. Go down there and find him.
Yeah.
Stella!
Exactly. He has not moved. He didn't get a condo.
To the rooftops of Seattle.
Yeah. You realize you didn't find him looking on top of the building.
Right, yeah.
Why are you back on top of the building?
Quickly light the Punisher signal.
Right?
But since he doesn't wear that emblem, he's just like a gun.
Seattle's Daredevil goes, will you keep it down over there, man? I'm trying to fight my corner of
Seattle.
Seattle Spider-Man.
So crowded.
What's that fish market there?
Pike Place.
Pike Place? Yeah.
Pike Place.
I don't know. He's fighting the Chinese crime syndicate there.
He's fighting inflated seafood prices.
Yeah, well, no. So now he's killed all the mob bosses off.
Right.
There's none left.
Now he's going to move to New York.
And make it in the slave business.
Start another family. Then they're going to die, and then he's going to become the actual Punisher.
He's like,
You're like, hey, maybe this time I'll get a shirt.
after 200 murders. He's got to send in all the rappers and
he's got to design it and then like get a
all right, yeah.
what's that t-shirt printing website? Red.
Oh,
yeah,
there's a bunch
exactly.
of them. Hello Tees.
He designs it, uploads it.
It's like they print it on demand. It's so much easier than screen printing it myself in the sewer.
Right? Or using a rattle can like every other Punisher did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the Punisher. That is the movie, The Punisher.
Was it?
Find it on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Was it the
free.
Punisher? Yeah. You can't tell.
They said Punisher a lot.
They did.
looked great.
Right.
They said the names Frank and Castle quite often, but
Right. And yeah, and we can't say that, murdered family is not good justification because it's everybody's justification. Batman,
Yes.
Spider-Man, all that shit. But yeah, he doesn't seem as dark and troubled as Frank Castle. It's like, and that's not cartoony. You don't have to put the thing on his chest or whatever, but I would think making him a Vietnam vet, special forces with PTSD, like, what's the harm in adding that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a revenge plot. He wanted to see that through, but he wasn't.
He just mumbled a lot.
He had a drunk English friend who rhymed all this. Yeah, it's like, how dark and brooding can you be? I guess
Frank was
like,
barely a
Shake.
character.
Shake is coming over.
He barely did anything that wasn't just shooting people.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
And like running after being shot.
Right.
Yeah, that's all he did.
He
that
didn't
doesn't
really
make a
have
movie,
conversations with anybody.
Yeah. It looked cool though.
About
There were
himself.
some scenes. I forgot to mention this during the rice paper fight You know, the weird where he's fighting all these different types of ninjas, I guess. I don't know. But he stabs a guy through the rice paper, and I was like, that is the coolest.
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah, and
Out
we
of
didn't
all
even
the battle
see. We didn't even
sequences.
see that there was a guy there.
Yeah, and he just
Right.
stabs
He
through the
does this,
paper, and the guy
and you-
falls through. And I was
Yeah.
just like, I watched that scene 4 or 5 times.
It
because it was
reminded
so
me
cool.
of Kill Bill a little
Yeah.
bit. 'cause
Yeah,
they
no,
had that-
again, there was a lot of really well lit, not staged, but well framed.
Yeah, well framed.
well framed.
composed.
It had a cinematographer, but nobody was coaching the actors.
The way that the Yakuza henchmen were laid out, where you had to walk through the swords, like the sword play to get into the back
Yeah.
part of the layer, that was really cool. That was like, that made sense to me. It was visually, I was like, oh shit, that's dope.
Yeah, no, it was visually an interesting movie. It's
I
just
don't know. I can't think of anybody that stands out as a really bad actor in the movie. You know, compared to some of these movies we've seen, where it's obviously just either film students or friends of the directors. But like nobody stuck out as being shitty and wooden. You know what I mean?
No. They
Even
didn't-
the cheesy guys that are talking to Franco, you know, his little henchmen or partners.
the
or
action
whatever.
was just very clumsily blocked.
Yeah,
It was
it seemed cheap.
Well, it was just so factory
Very cheap.
press, you know, sort of generic action movie.
There were a couple of henchmen with lines that were pretty cheesy or pretty poorly acted.
Okay,
But just here and there, none of the main actors or actresses were
Castle's lines were
there's
50-50.
there's an Oscar
too
winner in
terrible.
there.
Yeah.
The writing, I think, was the worst part for
It was terrible.
terrible.
Yeah, the writing was bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
and
I mean, I don't know
yeah,
if it was
so
the
badly
actors.
written.
Yeah.
It was. I was curious, so I looked up the cinematographer that did this. He also, his name is Ian Baker, and he worked on, let's see, The Devil's Playground, Roxanne, that Steve Martin movie, The Russia House, Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck.
Devil's Playground's a documentary,
Is it
I think.
Devil's Playground? 76?
Yeah, it's about Rumspringa. It's about Amish kids.
No. No. Yes, I'm sure it is, but this is a different.
This is
movie.
a different one. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cool documentary.
fictionalized version of Rumspringa.
Right. He did a lot of Australian stuff. Then he did Roxanne, The Russia House, 6 Degrees of Separation, IQ, Fierce Creatures, Queen of the Damned, Empire Falls, Evan Almighty. So yeah, they had a competent cinematographer. Everything was competent except the writing
Yeah. Well, and the blocking.
and the blocking. It's not a great movie.
No.
At all. So which leads us to the rankings.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Bum-ba-da-dum. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even can't remember. Let's see.
So we're starting from the bottom.
This doesn't unseat Batman.
Made it at the same time.
Sorry, Stanley.
Yeah, made it the
Not yet.
same time. Yeah, not yet.
odd.
Maybe someday. Stanley will get there. So at number 15, this is the 16th movie we've watched. Our 15th and our lowest rated movie is Superman 4: The Quest for Peace.
Boo. Just
I
again. boo
I
that
think this
movie.
is a better movie than Quest for Peace.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah,
I
definitely.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quest for Peace was just terrible.
Question for Peace needed 2 nuclear men to really make it work.
Right.
Yeah, that second nuclear.
And what's
man.
above that? Molman?
Toxie?
Toxic.
Oh, the first
Yeah.
Toxie.
Yeah. And then above that is Toxie 2.
Interesting. I really like Toxie too.
Yeah, same.
I found it much more enjoyable than this movie.
Than this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Do-
we're gonna
you
split
want
And
it
above
the pair.
above Toxie 2 is Howard. So
Yeah,
Do we
it's
want
definitely
it? Do
not
we
better
want it
than
between
Howard.
the Toxies?
break up the Toxies.
Yeah.
So in between.
Let's put some space between those 2 Toxic Avenger movies,
All right.
because the second one is much better than the first one.
It really
Right.
is.
Right.
Yeah, they should get some points for improvement.
And Punisher is bad. It's
Yeah,
worse than
it's-
the second Toxic Avenger.
It's a
It
bad
is.
movie.
Oh, it
it is
definitely
worse.
And they even went to Japan, and I guess nobody mentioned Yakuza, or maybe they did. But anyways, yeah, Toxie 2 was
That's interesting,
better.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are kind of
Yeah. So all right, we put it
equally
at
bad.
number 14 out of 16.
all right.
The third worst movie we've watched so far. That's it.
The things we do for you guys.
I know.
And
This was punishment.
And next week, one of the things we will do for you guys is watch The Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie.
Which was filmed at the same time as the second one, right?
As the second one, yes.
So it's going to be a fucking disaster.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's coming out next week. It's our first movie of the 90s.
Wow.
We'll have reached the 90s.
That was a golden age for
Yes.
us.
Wow.
Cool. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for everyone for listening. This has been Throw Smiley, and I have 2 bad kidneys.
I'm Josh Cece, and I am the #1 tween crime boss in Seattle.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm going to go meditate in the nude.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I may or may not have reached my limit for revenge.
Thanks, everybody.
Tune in next week to find out.
My revenge tank is full.
Bye. Harmless Phosphorescence was brought to you by executive producer Atticus Burkett, producers Michael Beckwith, Jojo Birchtree, Hedda Paulson, Kirsten Reed and Alyssa Dent, and Katie and Finn Thorpe. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Harmless Phosphorescence is a part of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Become a patron at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Thank you for listening.